Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, April 25th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Gina Barty. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Coast Guard lieutenant and former Marine accused of stockpiling guns and creating a prominent list of targets has a detention hearing this afternoon in Greenbelt. Patricia Vallone is standing by with an update on the case against Christopher Hayson.
In a surprising ruling, the judge says that the federal government did not make a clear case in order to hold 50-year-old Christopher Hassan until his trial date. Now, Hassan will remain in custody until a place to reside is agreed upon by the court, but he continues to only have the original 4 charges: no murder, attempted murder, or terrorism charges, despite the finding of a stockpile of weapons, some of which were homemade. Now, the detention hearing is expected to resume next week once the defense lays out its options on where Hassan can reside once he's released. From Greenbelt, Patricia Vallone, CTV News.
Last month, Hassan pleaded not guilty to charges of illegal possession of firearm silencers, possession of firearms by a drug addict and unlawful user, as well as possession of a controlled substance. He faces up to 31 years in federal prison if convicted on all 4 counts in his indictment.
Governor Larry Hogan calling for Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh to resign. This as FBI agents raid Baltimore City Hall, the mayor's home, her attorney's office, and 3 other locations associated with the embattled mayor. Pugh, who was taking a leave of absence, has been under investigation for sales of a Healthy Holly children's books. Published reports indicate that Pugh was paid $500,000 by the University of Maryland hospital system for copies of the books while she served on the hospital board. Investigators allege that others who were seeking contracts with the city would pay lucrative sums for copies of the book.
Well, as expected, former Vice President Joe Biden is jumping into the 2020 presidential race. Biden formally declared his candidacy on social media this morning. He joins a list of more than 20 Democratic hopefuls who seem to be taking a progressive position on a number of issues. But Biden didn't talk much about policies in the 3.5-minute video posted. Instead, he confronted President Donald Trump.
I believe history will look back on 4 years of this president and all he embraces as an aberrant moment in time. But if we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation, who we are, and I cannot stand by and watch that happen.
Biden is expected to make his first campaign stop in Pittsburgh this Monday.
And a District Heights police chief who was suspended for reportedly covering up information when hiring officers is heading back to work. In a closed session meeting last night, City Commissioners Cynthia Miller, Pamela Jennifer, and Harriet Irving voted to reinstate Chief Elliot Gibson Sr. He's expected to report back to work on April 29th after being on paid administrative leave since December.